Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emily. In today's video, I thought that I would do something that I haven't actually done in a couple of months because a few months ago, I kind of decided that I wouldn't be doing a TBR video every month. And so for October and November, I didn't really set myself a TBR because I just knew that I'd never follow it. This time I decided to let you guys help choose my TBR, and I'm hoping that you guys don't do me wrong with the options that have won, because I have been in a slump for like most of this year, and I'm really hoping that the books that you guys have chosen for me help to get me out of this slump. Of course, out of the polls, I had to do a couple of Christmassy books in the polls as well because it is Christmas time in December and I love Christmas time so much, and I really want to get some Christmas books read this year. And I'm also going to do like a 24-hour readathon reading Christmas books, so I kind of knew that I had to have some Christmas books on my TBR. I only put 6 polls up on my Instagram story because I knew that if I put any more, there's like no way that I'm going to get to all of the books, but I feel like 6 is like a reasonable amount to try to get to all of them. So I'm going to tell you guys the 2 books that are in the first poll. The first one is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I've actually heard some really mixed reviews on this one because apparently like it's either like a book that people really like, or it seems to be a book that literally everyone seems to hate. And apparently it's also full of spice, which if you guys know me, you know that I don't like spice in books. So I have a feeling that if this book is chosen, I'm probably going to end up DNFing it if that's the case, but we will have to wait and see. And then the other book that it's going up against is The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. I believe that there's actually supposed to be another book before this called Mr. Fixer-Upper, but they're kind of like interconnected standalones. So I'm not going to be reading that before this one because obviously this is a Christmas book and I really want to read it this year. I don't really know much about either of these books, to be honest. I just know that they're both like little Christmassy romances. So let's check the poll and see which one won. Unfortunately, A Merry Little Meet Cute won. It was actually quite close though. It was literally 52 to 48%. So that was a very close one. But that means A Merry Little Meet Cute is getting added to the TBR. I'm either going to love this or I'm going to DNF it. There's literally no in between. I will probably still end up reading The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score though, because I really want to read this one. But the one that's going on my TBR is this one. From the synopsis of the book, it actually doesn't sound bad. It says, when B. Hobbs takes the lead in a squeaky clean romantic Christmas movie, there are only 3 rules. Don't get involved with anyone on set. Don't tell anyone what you do for a living. Definitely don't get involved with anyone on set. So it kind of sounds good. I feel like there's going to be a lot of drama, but as I said, like if it's full of spice, I'm not going to like it. Anyway, on to the next poll. These are another 2 like Christmassy sort of books. And again, I'm kind of like praying that it goes in one direction. So the first one is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This is another one that I've heard some really mixed reviews on over the past few years, but it's also really short. Like it's probably, yeah, around like the 250 page mark. So I feel like I could read this in one sitting anyway, even if it is really bad. Sometimes like really bad books are actually kind of easy to read because you just want to finish them and get through them. And then the other option is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I believe this is the first book in a series, but this is the only Christmassy book in that series. So I do definitely want to get to this. I feel like I'm going to absolutely love this. So looking at the votes, Window Shopping got 35% and Love Light Farms got 65%. Thank God, because I really wanted to read this book. So this one is getting added to the TBR. We're following Stella in this book and she's trying to save a Christmas tree farm that she's loved since she was a child. And it says that she enters a contest with Insta-famous influencer Evelyn St. James. With the added publicity and the huge cash prize, she might just be able to save the farm from its financial woes. And it seems like there's going to be like a bit of a fake dating trope in this as well, which I love a good fake dating trope. So I just know I'm going to eat this book up. Like I'm so excited for this. Okay, the next 2 books, I decided to put these 2 up against each other because they are from the same author, and in the Southern Hemisphere we are going into summer in December. I just realized it's December 1st today, which means summer's officially started, which is so exciting. But I'm literally sitting here in a cardigan because it's not actually that warm today. But anyway, I decided to put these 2 books against each other, both from Emily Henry. So the first one is People We Meet on Vacation. This is a book that has been popular for quite a few years now, but for some reason I just still haven't gotten around to reading it. I think it's because it's also one of those books that I've heard so many mixed reviews on. I do definitely want to read it this summertime because I just feel like Emily Henry can't do no wrong. Like I love all of her books. The other book I haven't read from her yet is Book Lovers. So this is the book that it is going up against. This is like a really good poll to see because it's like gonna show me which Emily Henry book tends to be people's favorite. I know this one isn't necessarily giving like summer vibes, but it kind of gives me like spring vibes. I feel like all of Emily Henry's books must be read in the warmer weather. They just have that feel to them. Okay, wow. This one is a very clear winner as well, which kind of like proves that like not many people like People We Meet on Vacation. So People We Meet on Vacation got 32% and Book Lovers got 68% with 875 votes. Like, that is crazy. Wow. Obviously, everyone wants me to read this book. I know that I'm going to love this. Like, I just have a gut feeling. You know, when you have a feeling about a book that you're going to really, really love it, that's how I feel about this book. So I'm very excited to add this to the TBR. I feel like this is a very successful way to do a TBR because, like, I'm choosing the books that I'm in the mood for, but then you guys are kind of choosing out of those books, like, which ones I should prioritize in a way. So I'm really hoping that this is a successful month where I can actually read majority of my TBR because I've literally never done that before. The next one is kind of a bit of a different one. This is actually two fantasy books going against each other. So the first one is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. This one comes after Cinder that I read a couple of months ago, and I loved Cinder so much. Like, I kind of went into it with low expectations because it's about a cyborg and I was a bit like iffy about that. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like that, but I ended up loving it and I'm so excited to continue this series. I just feel like, I don't know why I've been putting it off, to be honest, but I know that I'm going to eat this book up when I read it. And the other book that it went against was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I have a feeling that this one is going to win just because Cassandra Clare is so loved, and I've actually never read a Cassandra Clare book before. Like, this is the book that's going to kind of like start off her universe for me, so I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for me to read her universe. So that's why I have a feeling this one's going to win. This is actually quite surprising. It's still very, very close. Scarlet by Marissa Meyer actually won with 52% and City of Bones had 48%. So it was very, very close. I actually looked at it yesterday, like when I first put up the poll, like after like an hour, and City of Bones was like smashing Scarlet. Like, it was literally like probably 80 to 20% or something. So for Scarlet to end up taking the lead, I'm actually quite surprised, but I'm also not mad about it because I was kind of like intimidated to start Cassandra Clare's world, to be honest. Okay, we have two more polls to go. The next one is two thriller books that I've put against each other because I just feel like every single month I have to have a thriller read. Like, it wouldn't be me if I didn't read a thriller every single month. So for these two, I have done All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is the third book in the Natural series. I literally started this series like over a year ago and still haven't finished it, so I should definitely get to this very soon. And the other book is The Vanishing Stare by Maureen Johnson, which is the second book in the Truly Devious series. Again, I read Truly Devious probably like almost 18 months ago at this point and still have not continued the series, even though I did quite enjoy the first book. I don't know, I've just been not in the mood for it, I guess. But this one, I have a feeling that All In will win just because I feel like more people have heard of it and they won't really recognize this one, because I feel like you'd recognize Truly Devious, but you wouldn't really recognize the second book in that series. So I have a feeling that All In is going to win this one. Okay, yep. So All In won with 77% and The Vanishing Stare obviously had 23%. All In had 941 votes. Like, when you look at it like that and like you actually know how many people voted for a specific book, like, that is just insane to me. Like, wow. So obviously everyone wants me to read this book, but if you don't know, the Natural series is following a group of teenagers who are kind of recruited by the FBI because they all have these like special abilities, but they're only allowed to solve like closed cases, like unsolved crimes. But yeah, this is the fifth book I'm adding to the TBR. Now we have one more vote to go. I'm honestly very excited for this one because, as I said, we're going into summer and I think that both of these books would be the perfect reads for like sitting on the beach, and I'm hoping that I can get to the beach at some point in December. So the next books are This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I read Every Summer After like 2 years ago from Carly Fortune and I really loved it, even though it had mixed reviews. That was like a book that I actually really thoroughly enjoyed, and so I feel like I'm going to love this writing as well. But it is also going up against Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I've read Part of Your World and Yours Truly now. I was originally going to read this before reading those two, but I'm glad that I read those two first because I loved both of those books so much, so it was so worth it. So now I'm up to the third book, obviously, in this little interconnected standalone series. I have not seen one negative review on this. Like, I feel like everyone has been raving about this book, so I'm hoping that this one wins. But I also wouldn't be mad if it went like either way, to be honest. This one is actually very surprising. Well, it's not surprising, but like the difference in votes is very surprising to me. Just for the Summer won with 74%, so it had 935 votes. Like, 900 people want me to read this book. Like, that is like literally mind-boggling to me, but I'm not mad about this. Obviously, as I just said, this is the one that I kind of like wanted to read. So this is officially the 6th book that I'm adding to my TBR. So these are the 6 books that are on my December TBR. Obviously, I don't have to necessarily stick to this entire TBR, and I probably will not finish all of these books. I might end up reading some of the books that they were like up against that didn't actually win. It just depends on how I feel during the months, because I am a massive mood reader, but I'm actually very happy with these choices. Like, I have a feeling that this is going to be like one of my more successful TBR months, because all of these books I'm very, very excited about. So thank you guys so much for helping me choose my December TBR. If you don't follow me over on my other social medias, make sure you go and do that so you don't miss when I do videos like this again, so you can also take part in helping me to choose my reads. Of course, I will check in at the end of the month and see how many of these books that I read. It will be in my December wrap-up. I always add statistics to my wrap-up videos. But with all of that being said, thank you again so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one.